This video is brought to you by BetUS Sportsbook and Casino.
The NFC North is undoubtedly one of the most competitive divisions in the NFL this year. And I mean, it's known for its historic rivals, passionate fan bases, and brutal winter games. But what if I told you that every single team in this division has a legitimate shot at taking the crown this season? And in today's video, we're going to be breaking down why the Packers, Bears, Vikings, and Lions each have a shot at winning the NFC North, along with making the playoffs and quite possibly making a run in the playoffs this year. And not only that, we're going to go through each roster and their strengths and weaknesses and what I do fully expect. And at the end of the video, I'm going to give my prediction of who is going to win this division. This is why the NFC North is anyone's for the taking. All right, so we are going to start off with my personal favorite to win the division, the Green Bay Packers, a team that has dominated the NFC North for much of the past decade. As we've all known, though, they have a new star under center, and I mean, they just can't keep getting away with getting these Hall of Fame potential quarterbacks. They've had Aaron Rodgers, they've had Brett Favre, now they have Jordan Love. I mean, last year, Love played like a seasoned veteran down the stretch of last year, throwing for over 4,100 yards and 32 touchdowns in his first season starting. And due to that performance too, he got paid in the offseason like 1-2 after the Packers gave him one of the most lucrative contracts in NFL history with $220 million over the next 4 years. Although they no longer have the benefit of a quarterback on his rookie deal, their wide receiver room is all incredibly talented and at an affordable price too. Former first-round pick Christian Watson has a lot of upside, and both Jaden Reed and Dontavian Wicks are extremely athletic weapons with boatloads of upside for the coming season.
The Green Bay Packers had the youngest set of skill position players in the National Football League last year. So imagine all of those players going in year two together in this offense with Matt LaFleur. It's just going to be phenomenal. I think the growth that we're going to see offensively is going to be great. And I haven't even talked about the defensive side of football.
And I mean, one of the biggest reasons I think why the Packers can win the NFC North this year is because of their defense. It honestly has looked pretty good. Just ignore the fact that they weren't playing any starters against the Broncos. That doesn't count, okay? And plus it's preseason. But besides that, their defense, when they have starters in, looks pretty good. It's really loaded with young and talent at every level of it too. Despite firing their defensive coordinator last season, PFF graded their defense as one of the top units in the league overall, and they certainly have the potential to be even better this year. The D-line is anchored by Kenny Clark and Rashawn Gary, two of the Packers' longest tenured players and biggest impact players throughout all phases of the game. Then we look at the secondary, and the Packers boast one of the league's top cornerbacks in Jair Alexander. Alexander is a lockdown cornerback who can just take away any opponent's best receiver, allowing the rest of the defense to focus on their threats. One of the biggest acquisitions that Green Bay made this offseason was picking up Xavier McKinney at free safety. He's going to be bringing in much needed veteran leadership to the defensive backs and pair quite nicely with strong safety Javon Bullard. The Packers defense, though, it's not just about the players on the field and just all the talent they have there too, it's the coaching that makes them even better. First-year defensive coordinator Jeff Hafley is implementing a system that emphasizes a base 4-3 defense in order to benefit from their performance in the run game and take advantage of their strong personnel groups on the defensive line. And like, I mean, straight up honestly, if this Packers defense can stay healthy and they can play well like they were last year, then even if the offense is going to have a bad day and not really put up as many points as they should be putting up, the defense can be the backbone of this team and carry them to a win. Like, it's not very often that we see a Packers team that has great defense. I mean, normally they really struggle against the run, and this year they might be the exact opposite of that. Another addition the Packers made this offseason was signing Josh Jacobs from the Las Vegas Raiders to replace Aaron Jones, who departed in free agency. Jacobs brings everything Jones does, but packs a little bit more of a punch. His versatility as both a ball carrier and a pass catcher is what makes him so special and why he can be a high volume engine that keeps this Packers offense on track. He had a slightly down year last year, but is poised for a big bounce back in 2024. And with LaFleur's commitment to the run, Jacobs will be heavily featured in the game plan. I mean, if they can have success on the ground, that's going to take pressure off of Jordan Love, allowing him to manage the game and make plays when needed. All in all, though, if the Packers can control the clock and dominate the time of possession, they'll be a tough team to beat in the NFC North, especially when the weather gets colder in December and January. And as much as it pains me to say this, if you're a Packers fan, you got to feel good about what they're doing, which is why I'm going to give them a ceiling of like 13 wins and a floor of 10. Like, I'm sorry to the rest of the division and honestly the NFL, because everybody knows that they just have not been gifted, or I guess not cursed with a bad quarterback. They've just always had a good quarterback. So I think this is still Green Bay's division. Now, moving on to the next team, though, they're probably the favorite to win the division is the Detroit Lions, and for good reason too. Dan Campbell single-handedly almost turned the Lions from a laughingstock of the league to one of the NFC's biggest contenders in a few short seasons, and the Lions are here to stay. Despite that, they are falling behind the Packers into second place in 2024, and again, that's just my personal opinion. They're still going to be a powerhouse in the NFC. As we look back on last year too, Jared Goff led Detroit to being one of the most explosive offenses in the NFL last season, and all signs point to them being even better this season. In 2023, he threw for over 4,500 yards and 30 touchdowns, including 1,500 yards to his top target, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Like, I mean, when you look at this offense, it's just built around a strong offensive line that embodies the hard-nosed nature of its head coach, excelling in both run blocking and pass pro.
Jared Goff in and of himself is not a top 10 quarterback. In this situation, where he will be protected, where he plays almost all his games indoors, he is a top 10 quarterback. You add to that Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery out of the backfield. I know Gibbs got dinged up, I think today or yesterday. Amon-Ra St. Brown is a great receiver. Jameson Williams has great talent. He finally showed some flashes of that in the playoffs last year. You upgraded the defense, adding Marcus Davenport and Terrion Arnold in the first round of the draft. I don't see a real weakness on this roster right now.
This unit's led by a Pro Bowl center in Frank Ragnow and tackle Penei Sewell, and gives Goff the time he needs to make plays and open up lanes for one of the most potent rushing attacks in the league. Like, I mean, look, the combination of Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, it's been proven it's tough to stop, and as much as fantasy managers want Gibbs to take the full workload, I think the 1-2 punch is one of the main reasons they've been so effective. Like, I mean, when you look at each back in their own, they each possess entirely different skill sets among them, with Gibbs being shiftier and faster and Montgomery just being a better power runner. When you alternate between these two players, it means one stays fresh throughout the course of every game and makes the effectiveness per carry much higher than a league average running back duo. And now let's not forget the other rookie sensation that they had last year in Sam Laporta. Like, I mean, in recent memory, this dude had one of the best rookie tight end seasons the NFL has seen. And for a position that notably is slow to get up to speed in the NFL, Laporta was truly incredible, and his 900 yards and 10 touchdowns should only improve in the near future. Where I do believe that this Lions team is a little bit weaker is on their defense. Like, I mean, all in all, this defense kind of did struggle a good amount last year, and now that they lost CJ Gardner-Johnson as well, they don't really have that guy in the secondary to lean on for veteran support and just be the guy that everybody can turn to when they're looking for support. They have made a great effort at revamping their DB unit though, bringing in rookie corners Teron Arnold from Alabama and Ennis Rakestraw Jr. from Missouri, as well as Carlton Davis from Tampa Bay. Brian Branch also had an extremely successful rookie season last year, but he'll have to continue to develop his game for the Lions defense to truly progress into one of the league's top units. Of course, the hope is that honestly the corners won't need to guard their players too long because they still have a game wrecker in Aiden Hutchinson coming off of the edge. Hutch has been an awesome player in the NFL so far, but I think it's time for him to take that next step and truly become one of the league's best pass rushers. I fully am putting the expectation out there that he can get 14 or more sacks this season, and if he can get those 14 or more sacks this season with some contributions from DJ Reader and Marcus Davenport as well, then the Lions really do have the potential to turn around this defensive unit. All in all though, I am giving the Lions a ceiling of 12 wins and a floor of 9. I think they are right there with the Packers, and one of these two teams are going to win the division, but Jordan Love gives the Packers an edge for me. Now let's talk about the Chicago Bears, one of the most talked about teams that will be talked about this year, and because of a special player that they have at quarterback. However, the 2024 season presents a unique opportunity for the Bears to not just compete, but to potentially be a dark horse to win the NFC North, and here's why. As I just suggested, the most significant factor in the Bears' potential rise to the top of the division is the development of Caleb Williams.
And he making it look like, listen here, man, this is what I do. Y'all in trouble. I'm about to take this league by storm. When you watch him play, he cool and calm like he was in college. Obviously, the biggest thing for me is what showed up in college is showing up right here on this tape, right? We knew in the pocket he wasn't really phenomenal in the pocket, but we knew what he was phenomenal at. And that's getting outside the pocket, making big-time plays with his arm, with his legs, everything. And that's what we are seeing in this preseason. And he's making it look easy.
I know, it's exciting that the Bears have acquired a lot of top-end talent to pair with Williams in his first year, but I think it's more to do with what they do to develop Williams is what it's going to take and what he can be at the NFL level than trying to compete right away. Like, I mean, look, the Bears certainly have a great roster and they are one of the most underrated in the NFL on both sides of the ball, but the Packers and Lions are some of the toughest competition out there and they have to play them twice a year. Now, I know, don't jump in the comments section yet because that doesn't mean they don't have a chance, because with DJ Moore now opposite free agent pickup Keenan Allen and rookie wideout Rome Odunze, the Bears have some serious firepower at wideout. And sure, of course, even for me, it's hard not to be excited about just what the Bears can do this year because we've seen what they can do in the preseason and in a Hard Knocks too. Like everybody is excited about them, including me. Like, I mean, when we look at Williams just in himself, his pocket presence is already that of an elite NFL quarterback, and that's very hard to teach. More something that a quarterback just naturally has or just learns. On top of that too, from this past weekend, we all saw how his scrambling ability will give defenses absolute nightmares, and we are all well aware of his ability to extend plays and throw with pinpoint accuracy from crazy off-platform angles. And I mean, when you consider also that behind Williams, you also have a top 10 defense in the league, it really is hard to try and tell how the Bears are going to perform this season. Eberflus turned one of the worst units in the league into one of the best, just in the span of a few games. Like, I mean, from training camp and everything we've seen so far, Jalen Johnson is one of the league's rising stars at corner and got the contract he deserves. Tyreek Stevenson is another intriguing young player at the second cornerback position and will certainly make some splash plays for the Bears this year. Kevin Byard and Jaquan Brisker are also a solid duo at the safety spot, but up front is where Chicago really thrives. Montez Sweat turned out to be a great piece for the defense, and the combination of TJ Edwards and Tremaine Edmonds forms maybe one of the best linebacker duos in football. And look, I know that's a lot of praise for the team that I think is going to come in third place in this division, but I mean, are they going to win the division? Probably not. But do they have a chance? Definitely. What I can say for sure though is that they are going to be in the division running for a long time to come if everything does pan out. I mean, I think that Caleb Williams and his boys have a ceiling of like honestly 11 wins and a floor of 7, and it's a much wider range than the others, but that is expected with a rookie quarterback starting this year. I mean, when you look at their schedule too, honestly, besides the Houston Texans in the first couple weeks, and you could maybe say the Rams and Colts, they really don't have that tough of a schedule in the front half. But once you get past that, it does get a little bit tougher because then you're playing the Vikings, Packers, and Lions twice in the back end of your schedule. But overall, I think they are going to be like an 8 or 9 win team. Are you looking for a new book this football season? BetUS is the answer. They have the fastest and easiest payouts in the industry, along with 24/7 personalized service 365 days a year. Not only that, but they have live wagering on all major games, so if you see something mid-game and want to make a wager on it, you can. And the best part is you get 10% back on your net losses twice a year. And now look, you guys know I had to come through for you, so use my sign up link in the description or pinned comment and get a sign up bonus of 125% up to $2,000. Again, thank you to BetUS for sponsoring today's video, but for now, let's hop back into it. Now, the last place team I think that it is going to be is the Minnesota Vikings, the team that I can confidently say that probably will not be winning the NFC North. The Vikings have a lot of work to do to bring this team back up to where it was with Kirk Cousins at the helm, a process that has become much harder now that JJ McCarthy is officially done for the season with a torn meniscus. And don't get me wrong, Kirk Cousins might not be the flashiest quarterback in the league, but he's one of the most consistent over the past few seasons, and the Vikings are likely now regretting their decision to let him walk in the offseason. With JJ done for the year, Sam Darnold is officially going to be the starter, which is honestly just a weird thing to say in 2024. And look, I know it's all not doom or gloom. I mean, they still do have Sam Darnold, who is a competent backup. And on top of that too, maybe the dude can like resurrect his career with the weapons he does have around him in Justin Jefferson and Aaron Jones at the running back position. Like, there still is a chance that they somehow could make the playoffs out of this division. But I think arguably if they want to have like any remote success this season, it's going to have to come on the back of Justin Jefferson, who's arguably, he's not even arguably, he is the best wide receiver in the NFL. Just negative plays for opposing offenses. All in all though, there definitely are some glaring holes in this defense still, which is why I did rank them last. I mean, even when you look at the defense, they still have a big hole at the corner spot. Stephon Gilmore did just sign with the team, so they did try to kind of address that problem that they were having. But for now, I mean, that's still an aging cornerback who's not the same player he was when he was on the Patriots or even the Colts. So I really don't know what they're going to do at the cornerback spot. Regardless of all of that, though, it just feels like a whole year is going to be wasted while the Vikings still can't find a long-term solution at quarterback after all the years of franchise tagging Kirk. Now we have to wait another full season before we even can see any regular season action out of JJ McCarthy. Like, I mean, I like Sam Darnold, but I just can't see them getting more than 9 wins with him at the quarterback spot. I mean, all in all, still, you really never know. It's a competitive division where they all take games away from each other, and that could still give them a chance in a worst case scenario for other teams to go and win. But I mean, for the floor, I will go with like an underwhelming like 5 wins for this team. I mean, when we look at their schedule, it does look pretty tough. I mean, in the first 5 weeks, they've got the Niners, Texans, Packers, and Jets, and then they have to go and play the Lions as well. Like, this is a pretty grueling schedule when we do look at it. So it's going to be a little bit tougher to try and get to those 9 wins, I do believe. But again, it's the NFL. You never know what could happen. But I mean, whether it's the Bears' young quarterback taking the next step, the Packers' stout defense and powerful run game, the Vikings' experienced playmakers and improved defense, or the Lions' explosive offense and newfound confidence, every team truly does have a path to the top. The NFC North truly is a 3-horse race with the Bears, Lions, and Packers, and I do believe it's one of the most talented divisions in football as well. I mean, those 3 teams that I just listed could all make the playoffs this year, but it's going to be a wild ride to see who does come out on top. But as always, you guys just heard it right there. I do think the Packers are going to win this division. I think they're going to be like an 11 or a 12 win team that they could even have a chance at getting the 1 seed this year. I don't know. It's kind of crazy to say, but if Jordan Love continues to play like he did at the end of the season last year, it could get scary for the NFL. But I want to know what you guys think. Make sure that you drop your comments below. Who is going to win the NFC North? Who is going to give me each team's record, what you think each team is going to finish as? I just gave you mine. But again, if you guys have not, make sure that you join my Discord. We are going to be launching a fantasy league either this week or next. So if you want to be a part of that, make sure you join there. As well as we are going to be running another giveaway for September. So if you want to try and win September's giveaway, make sure you join that because we are going to be just running the giveaway in there. We got like 2 of them, I think, that we're going to try and do too. So make sure that you run it over there. And as always, if you guys have not, make sure that you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Again, share this with a Packers fan, a Vikings fan, a Bears fan, or just an NFL fan. We're all here. Football is less than 2 weeks away. We cannot wait. And as always, I will catch you guys in the next one.